Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in the Story, and I just wanted to come on and do the darkness and light, or light and shadow, whatever you want to call it, reading. I posted a picture on Instagram, and quite a few people have messaged me like, what am I doing with those cards and things? So I just thought I'd quickly do a sample reading of how I intend to use it. Just, see what you guys think about it, and if you've done something similar. Obviously, you don't need these two decks. You can use any decks. Any two decks that you might have, but I thought it might be interesting to do. I also wanted to note that that's why I wanted to do this today and get it up. Apparently, if this deck is one that you're interested in, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to the creator of the Darkness and Light. The Darkness of Light Tarot, and so they're I believe $4 off of the deck today. And he also noted that you were going to be able to order the cards individually, so that if your dog chewed up one or you spilled something on one, you are able to get a replacement for the cards. So that's pretty cool. That's something you definitely don't see usually, especially with independent deck creators, because it's difficult, right? For us to, if somebody damages their card, it's not like writing to, it's not like writing to another, to a big mass market company. It's an individual person who had to pay for a single deck. And so once you give somebody, because they damaged their card, you give them card out of it, you've had to eat the cost of that deck. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, for independent, or it's more difficult for independent people to replace cards that were damaged by through our own fault. Not damaged cards that come in the mail, but when we do things, and it's happened to me. Isabel's eaten a few decks. So I think that's pretty cool. That's definitely something you don't see a lot, and I think that's neat. So anyways, make sure you check that out. If you were interested in this, it is on sale today. So I did want to make sure I pointed that out in case anybody was interested in it. But my main purpose was to kind of do this reading. And I'm going to do this, this is an actual reading for somebody, and I'm going to just do it based on the fact that they are going through a lot of changes, and not bad changes, just life is really shifting. And it's interesting because this is something they've done a lot of work over the last year, doing a lot of internal work and shifting internally. And then now their kind of physical circumstances are all kind of shifting and changing. And so it's just kind of getting a lay of the land. What is in light is, kind of what's obvious, what's actively going on, what do we know about what's happening, and then where are some underlying things, not necessarily negative. I don't see shadow as negative, but it's underlying, it's under the surface of things and what's going on there, and just kind of get a little bit of a check-in that way. So I'm using the Fountain Tarot to look at things that are in light. Oh. And then I'm going to take this as the primary, because when I do 3 cards, I tend to have center primary, and then, oops, I don't read reversals, so it just means I shuffle badly and I flip it around. So there we have what's in light. So I'm going to look here to primary and some further info there. So that's what I'm going to do there. And now I'm going to shuffle up the Darkness of Light Tarot, which I have to say shuffles really nicely. But I'm a riffle shuffler, and so of course I prefer. That's just fuzz. going to do the same thing. I'm sorry for Isabel. Somebody is daring to wash their car in the parking lot. So here we have the King of Coins, the Devil, and we have the Magician. So I love these two combinations here, which is our major cards, right? For me in this, I'm looking at these cards here as sort of primary. I'm going to go tell her to stop as soon as I organize these so they're more centered so that my brain doesn't keep messing with them. Okay, so here we have the Two of Swords here in light, which is really powerful, right? Because she does actually have quite a lot of decisions to be made in some areas. Other areas are kind of going ahead full force, much like the Tower, where there's just changes and things that have just kind of shifted and started. Circumstances have just sort of required a flexibility and a change. And I love that the Tower here, especially in the Fountain Tarot, because the Fountain Tarot really, in my opinion, shows the Tower card as at its best in terms of how I read the Tower card, because you can see it's gotten overweighted, and you can see as that's burning off and that falls away, you're still left with a really balanced base here to start to rebuild from. So it's like, okay, massive change has occurred. It's about to kind of wrap up the first major changes, and so it literally is going to be a kind of building of life with a major move and shift in life circumstances. And so this really reflects that well. I love that the counterpart for this in the shadow here of this card is the Devil card, right? Because that is that reminder that says that even in the midst of change that is kind of maybe taken out of force of its own, we've just got to roll with it. This is happening. We've got to roll with this change, even in the midst of that change, to make sure that you're not abdicating your power. You know, make sure that even in the midst of things that you feel are uncontrollable, and in some ways maybe uncontrollable, you can still stand in your own power, and you can still not give that over to panic, to different energies, or just to the situation itself. And of course, I have to be a little circumspect in details here for a live video, but that various circumstances that, you know, even when it's a Tower moment where it can be that sort of lightning act of God that we just have to roll with, she's still, two things, she still has choices, and she did have choices, and she was able to navigate those choices and is navigating those choices as she goes. So I love that combo there. But then in the midst even of the parts in which maybe it feels like it's just snowballing with that, hold on to your power. Don't give it over to panic. Don't give it over to circumstances, but still make sure that you maintain your own power and not abdicate, because the Devil for me is about abdication of power. So don't give that over. So I love those two combinations together, right? And also these two, so these are kind of cards that would be going together, so we can see that she's in the midst of a lot of decisions, some out of her hands and some not, and so some of them she's, you know, the reason that things are actually quite going well is because she's really sat with, right? You can see that. This to me really indicates, I know I'm kind of jumping all over because it gets me excited, but she's really, but it's a narrative, right? It's telling a story, and she really did sit with, in the last year, that Four of Swords energy, taking a step back, sitting with things. I love this Four of Swords because he's literally looks like he's meditating. I love the bird here. She's really done that. Take a step back, reassess, reevaluate, make some changes, and that has put her in a position to be able to start making decisions, and even in the midst of like, okay, this is happening, well, how am I going to react to that? She has been much more ready and able to make decisions and think through them, step back, process, and then make decisions because of the work that she's done. But what I love is that with the decision card here of the Two of Swords, the counterpart underlying this is the Magician. She's got what it takes, right? She's got everything that she needs to make these choices and decisions. She doesn't need to get blocked or stymied by it. She's got to, make sure she's balancing the mind and the heart, and that was definitely part of this equation was, craziness happens. Now, how am I going to deal with it? And I can't come all from emotion. I can't come all from logic. I have to kind of have those two things in unity so I can make good decisions. So to have the Magician, underneath here saying, you've got this. You've got everything that you need to make good, solid, balanced decisions that will move you forward, navigate through here. Don't abdicate your power. It's within you. Why are you, don't give that away. Hold the line, hold the course, right? Really strong connective cards here, right? Which leaves us kind of with these connective here. So we have the Four of Swords, right? And again, like I said, she's really gone through probably a good solid year of moving from kind of an emotional based reactionary place to a step back with the King of Swords or the Four of Swords energy of taking a step back, assessing things, taking time to regroup before going back into the fray. And I think that this really showed, because one of the things that she had wanted was just to see, because there was quite a while where she would get reading, it spread apart, but there wouldn't really be any change because she really wasn't, and she'd be the first to say, she really wasn't doing anything. She wasn't making any changes, and it reflected in the cards. And so here we can see that work has given her that King of Coins energy, which has really given that stability, right? That structure is there, so that which allows for this situation to happen without knocking her completely over. She's just having to change. She's having to roll with it. She's having to get rid of some things and rebuild some things, but it's going to be in a better place because she's in a better place. So she's able to take advantage of the positives of the little bit of chaos that are happening right now and rebuild this, and it's actually going to work out quite well. And that's because of this work that she's done and this stepping back, assessing, and getting into a habit of that, which is giving her a much firmer foundation. So I think that just in terms of kind of assessing a general situation, that these cards, together really both highlight and kind of give her that, two thumbs up and says, you did good. Like, this is giving you the base that you need. We have over here that's really showing the situation very well, and a little bit of that warning, that message that says, okay, you've got this, right? So don't give away your power. Your power is what's underlying your ability to make your choices and decisions from a place of balance and not from emotional reaction. You've got that power in the bag. So now don't, because of the circumstances, don't give that over. You've got that little bit of that warning that says you got it, you're doing great, you've got what you need, hold, even throughout this, hold through, because this is what you've done all this work for. So I think that that's really a fantastic reading for her, but B, I think it really highlights how this spread, again, you don't have to use these particular decks. I just, to me, these just are fantastic, and visually for that light and shadow, I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But you may have a deck that's more shadowy and a deck that's more light based, and how would you use those together? You can even do the exact same thing with one single tarot deck, right? Just flat out, these three cards are what's in light and what's we have like outwardly to work with, and this is what's going underneath it all, and how do these cards kind of talk to each other, and then how do these sides talk to each other, right? Because here we have, balanced decisions from being able to step back and assess and then go back into the fray that's going to help with the situation, right? This one we have, okay, you've got everything you need. You've got the stability that you need. Don't give it your power. You've got all your power within you. Stay strong, stay stable, stay structured. Don't abdicate your power. Don't fall back into old patterns. hold your power. So, you know, then you've got those individual messages there of the 3 cards. So I really think it's gorgeous. I think that, and again, with these particular, you know, when I was doing this walkthrough, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, definitely. So I hope that you found this interesting, and thank you for taking the time to watch it, and have a absolutely wonderful rest of the day.